Introducing Norwegian Prima.
Hello everyone, it's Sharon from Sharonatsea Travel. I can't tell you how excited I am to share with you Norwegian Cruise Line's newest ship, the Norwegian Prima. I sat in this morning on a meeting with Ncl as they talked all about what she has to offer. So I took a few clips to share with you in this video today. She will begin sailing in August of 2022 and will be making her way around the world with some amazing itineraries. I hope you enjoy the video, and here is a little more information about the Norwegian Prima.
I can't even tell you, the Prima is the first ship in a brand new generation, in a brand new class of ships. We're bringing out 6 in the next 6 years. This is the first ship class that we brought out in nearly 10 years. So briefly, I'll talk about statistics in terms of size. And I'll tell you that we really were thoughtful in the size in which the Prima class was going to have. A little bit smaller than our Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships at 3,215 guests, double occupancy. I want to talk a little bit now about the 4 pillars that have really been our Northern Star in focusing on the guest experience and what this means to us. First and foremost, it's about space, and it's about creating wide open spaces that really have and bring our guests connection to what they love about cruising, to the sea, to the ocean, and to the outside, and it bringing them in closer. So wide open spaces, both indoors and outdoors. We've got our largest inside ocean view and balcony staterooms on Norwegian Prima class. 50% larger than the balance of our fleet average. We have the largest haven complex on this particular ship class.
So yes, over to me for accommodation. So I am going to be putting a big emphasis as I'm talking through this on the haven. So as you can see with the Prima, the haven is actually in the aft portion of the ship. So it's at the very, very back of the ship. Compare that to our jewel class ships, where you're looking at the gem, the pearl, the jade, the jewel, where the haven is midship. And then on our Breakaway and Breakaway Plus class ships, it's at the front. Now, why is this important? Why is this a big deal? And this is where you take a look at this. So on the left-hand side, this is an example of the haven on our Breakaway Plus class ships. Because we've moved the haven to the aft of the ship, we've created a much larger open area looking outwards. And so what you're seeing on the right-hand side, this is a picture of one of the haven deck areas with its own private infinity pool looking out at the wake of the ship.
The second pillar that has been really something that we've marched forward with is service, and creating an opportunity to have an elevated level of service, again, that focuses solely on the guest experience. And that leads us into the fourth, which is the variety of experiences that Prima and her class will offer. Brand new things for us that allows you to be the first to really be that trailblazer, to really focus on enjoying the vacation experience and making sure that you have everything that you love about Norwegian Cruise Line. A couple of things about what's behind some of the firsts also for NCL, in addition to the cruise industry. Indulge Food Hall, which is a gorgeous indoor-outdoor area boasting 11 different restaurant concepts with a diverse menu. The culinary cuisine has really been amped up, and this is about offering choice, right? Norwegian is known freedom, flexibility, and choice, and our Indulge Food Hall will not disappoint. Our glass bridges in Ocean Walk, you'll hear us talk about, and they're on either side of the ship, these gorgeous glass bridges that really, again, bring connection to the guest experience and the sea. You'll also see us talk about our infinity pools, a first for us and the industry, whereby we have both 2 infinity pools on either side of the ship at almost sea level, which is super cool. We have a third one that's going to be in the haven area that we'll talk about also too. And then what we're calling the concourse, which is our outdoor sculpture garden. Multi-million-dollar pieces that have been commissioned specifically for Prima that really allow a great opportunity and experience to enjoy the ship as they wish.
I can't really talk too much about Ocean Boulevard because you've talked a lot about it already, but what I have is pictures. I loved our oceanfront area on our breakaway class ships, and we are just expanding it even more. So you can see it's almost more than double the size, and it actually goes around the complete ship. So, having the Ocean Boulevard with a lot more attractions and options for people to go to, whether it's the food hall or the infinity pools. Ocean Boulevard is going to be fantastic. Really looking forward to it. You can see how big and expansive it is. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail just to kind of show you the comparison. So the waterfront, we had outdoor dining, we had outdoor bars, we had outdoor seating areas. But I really think on our breakaway class ships, it was almost underutilized. There's too many times when I would go out there and, I would see empty couches or, people wouldn't be utilizing the waterfront. I think you can't help but utilize Ocean Boulevard on this ship. Just because there are so many indoor-outdoor areas. As I mentioned, it wraps around the entire deck. There's going to be pool decks on Ocean Boulevard. It's got a fantastic outdoor lounge, and then this glass bridge over the ocean, which really expands on what we had on our previous waterfront area, which were just kind of like glass tiles on certain areas towards the back of the ship. So if you look at one of our first features, it's Ocean Boulevard. The first features on Ocean Boulevard is Infinity Beach. So you can see we're going to have a pool deck on Ocean Boulevard. So there's going to be lounging spaces here. We're going to have infinity pools. And what you see here is replicated on the opposite side of the ship. So both sides of the ship are going to have Infinity Beach on there. And then you can see to the left and the right of the infinity pool there are going to be day beds that are surrounded by water. If you've been to the Haven and seen the pool that we have in the Haven, it's kind of similar to that, where you've got these little splash pools almost with the day beds inside them. You can also see here along the Ocean Walk. So this is really an extensive feature that we have in comparison to our previous waterfront areas. It wraps around on both sides of the ship, but it's going to be great for photo opportunities or social media, obviously. For some of those people that aren't too comfortable about not being able to have terra firma underneath them, it's going to be a little weird, I think, for you to walk across it, especially as we're moving. But it's 50 feet above the water line. It's just a cool aspect. So in addition, we also are going to have our first outdoor sculpture garden. So there's an artist called Alexander Crevochet. And he has some featured art on board the ship. Looking forward to seeing some of the different pieces that are out there. And then, of course, the Indulge Food Hall. I've mentioned before, I'll mention it again, me and my family travel by our stomach. So looking at something like this, an exciting food hall where we're going to have some additional food experiences that we haven't had on another ship. So, looking forward to some new concepts to be able to experience. I'll go over a couple of those that we have. You can see we've got the garden, which is going to focus, I believe, on vegetarian food tomorrow, which is going to be Indian food. We've always done fantastic Indian food in our garden cafe, but we're going to have a special outlet devoted to it on this ship, on the Prima. We'll have, of course, Starbucks, Coco's, which you might have experienced before, and then Noodles, which is actually not going to feature any specific kind of noodle, but it'll have Asian noodles and Italian noodles. So I think that's going to be a favorite. I know my son is a huge noodle fan, so he'll be there, I'm sure. We're going to have a rotisserie, a seaside rotisserie, which we haven't had on previous ships before, as well as some other favorites that you might be used to, including Q Texas Smokehouse. And then we're going to have a couple food trucks, so Latin Quarter food trucks for tapas, which I'm looking forward to as well. Lots of different food experiences. But you can see it goes from the casual to the premium to the fine dining. So I'm going to quickly whip through a few of these pictures. Here's some pictures of the local, which you might be familiar with from previous ships. And then, of course, some exterior and interior pictures of the food hall.
Glenn, if I can, we have a question that popped in. We have a question that popped in regarding Indulge Food Hall, and I'd love to be able to answer it since we're on this slide. And the question was, are we going to be charging an upcharge for Indulge? The plan right now is that we would not for breakfast and lunch. It is likely that we will have a service charge for dinner. Truthfully, we're working through the details. What we really want to do is provide the best opportunity to be able to have as many people experience Indulge as possible. So more to come on that information. But yes, super excited about it.
Yeah, and just the whole concept of food halls, I love, because when you have, especially with a group of people, nobody can agree on what to eat. So having a food hall, you can have such a variety of choices. You can please everybody, at hopefully at the same time. But then, of course, I would be remiss without talking about Anda, which is, again, one of my personal favorites on board our ships, which is our premium Italian or fine dining Italian. So you can see here we've got some alfresco dining available, as well as inside the ship. So again, a lot of those favorites that you've had from previous ships, as well as some new concepts that we're introducing on the Prima.
Now I get to talk about destinations. So one of the nice things that we're doing with the Prima, by comparison to what we've done in the past, when we brought out a new ship, we've brought her out, we've done a few inaugurals, we've situated her in her home port, and she started doing cruises from that home port throughout the entire season. With the Prima, what we're doing is more of an inaugural tour of the ship. So as she comes out in the summer of 2022, she's going to be doing a tour through Europe as well as across North America. And so what we're looking at for her, so first off, we're going to be doing a number of European cruises. So when the ship first comes out, we're doing a 10-day Northern Europe from Amsterdam and Copenhagen into Reykjavik. Then we're heading back to Amsterdam, Southampton, transatlantic. We're going to be doing a series of inaugural events interspersed in there when we bring the ship to North America. So once we come to North America, one of the very cool things that's happening, and we've heard this from a lot of our partners wanting to bring a ship to Texas. So after we do cruises where we come to New York, we're going to take the ship over to Galveston. We'll be doing some inaugural activities from there. And then we're going to be doing a very, very cool Southern Caribbean open jaw itinerary from Galveston to Miami. And as you can see here, from Galveston, we're actually going down to the ABC Islands, all the way down to Aruba, before ending the cruise in Miami. From Miami, we'll be doing a series of 7-day Western itineraries. And then we'll be bringing the ship up for most of the winter season. So she's going to be based out of Port Canaveral, so easy access in and out of Orlando, before heading back up the eastern seaboard to New York. We'll be doing some Bermuda before we head back to Europe for the summer season. So for the summer 2023 season, and this is where we really need to start thinking about groups, we're doing 10, 11, and 14-day Iceland from New York, Reykjavik, and Southampton. So all of these itineraries are now available online. So I'd really recommend that you go and check out the individual ones. So again, this is the New York to Reykjavik. So you can actually talk about doing a European cruise starting in New York, going to 3 different ports in Iceland, including Akureyri, as well as Reykjavik itself. And then, as I said, headed over to Amsterdam.
Hope you enjoyed hearing more about the Norwegian Prima. Bookings have opened up, so if you need some assistance in booking a cruise, please give me a call or an email. I will put my email in the description box below. And by the way, I do have some group space available for the first 2 U.S. sailings on the Norwegian Prima with some discounts, perks, and onboard credit. Thanks for watching. Happy cruising and safe travels.